Yeah, how you doing, everybody? It's still Sunday the 29th of November 2009, and I was just listening to the news, and it's not good, bad flooding all around the country here and around, and I just want to say, if you know people that are old or incapacitated or something, maybe just an idea to maybe give them a ring and reassure them, or go and see them if they're very close to you, just to reassure them that things will be alright. I'm sure listening to that news, it must be very frightening and very intimidating if you're quite old. A lot of these people live on their own, and they have they're haunted in many ways by their loneliness haunts them. So just a small bit of reassurance, it plays a big role in life. We are social creatures after all, and it's just a small practical thing to do. So just ring up one neighbour and just see that they're okay and everything's all right with them, or maybe a relative who's maybe let's say an older person or somebody that's maybe slightly incapacitated or whatever, just to offer them some reassurance. It goes a long way in life. Just two things I want to deal with. The first thing, I just want to deal with me doing these YouTube videos, and what this is. This is just a platform, and sometimes it's not a successful platform. I think it's a modern platform, and it's very accessible, and it has major advantages, and you just click on, have a look at what somebody's saying. If you don't like it, just turn it off and whatever. But in doing all that, I think the people like me that do these snips, I think you set yourself up to be knocked down, and one of the things that I don't want to come across as a smart arse or a smart aleck, and I just want to say I appreciate everybody's comments, and I appreciate people to take the time to comment on these things. I appreciate people that subscribe to these videos, but above all, as I say, I don't want to seem like I'm some sort of an oracle or some sort of a smartass. I'm not. I'm just a concerned citizen, and I want to apologise, and in particular I want to apologise to someone called Pardon What. I think it's a man, and I just got a bit abrupt with him in one of the comments, and well, a couple of comments, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have read between the lines and given the person the benefit of the doubt, and I didn't do that, and I just want to apologise over the matter, and I hope you'll accept the apology just for what it is, and that's it. The other thing I want to say is somebody sent me an email about an article in Thursday's Evening Herald from the 26th of November. And I got the Evening Herald. I have a member of my family here brings it home, and but I never read it. I don't know why I didn't. Well, I did read it that night, but I missed that article. I don't know why I missed it. Anyway, I did. And what this article is about is about the Irish Times were up in a Supreme Court hearing in the Supreme Court in Dublin, and the Supreme Court fined the Irish Times €600,000. So I'll have to explain to you what this was about. This is in connection with the Mahon Tribunal. Now, the Mahon Tribunal is a continuum of the Flood Tribunal, and it's been on the go. This tribunal has been on the go from 1987. It has had to cost the Irish people a colossal amount of money. Anyway, we don't control these things, and the bottom line of it is, it was an investigation into corrupt businessmen and corrupt property developers making payments to corrupt politicians, and one of the major elements in the corrupt politicians was the Muppet Ahern, okay, and that's what it was. So Ahern received payments of, I think it was 80 and 50 and something like thousands, okay, and it's a considerable amount of money in the period of time that he got. He got in the mid 90s. He got these payments of serious amounts of money in that. Like, could have bought houses and all the rest of it. Okay. Anyway, the bottom line of it was, this information came into the public domain as a result of a leak from the Mahon Tribunal. All right. I think it might have been the Flood Tribunal at that time. I don't know. I'm only reading what I'm reading here. Doesn't matter. The Mahon Tribunal, or the Attorney General of this country, initiated court proceedings against the Irish Times. Alright? And what they wanted to do was they wanted to find out who within the Mahon Tribunal, because it had to be somebody inside the Mahon Tribunal, somebody with access to these documents, released this information. Okay, so they wanted to find out who was the whistleblower. Alright. And what happened was it went through various courts and it arrived in the High Court, the case. And in the High Court justices, whoever they were, decided that because the matter was of such national interest, i.e. that it involved our Taoiseach hiding big lumps of money in a hole in the wall, etc., 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 and detailed the payments to him and all the rest of it, it was of such national importance that they could not find against the Irish Times. And the defendants from the Irish Times were its editor, a lady called Kennedy, what's her name? Geraldine Kennedy, and one of the political correspondents, a fellow called Colm Keena. So they couldn't find against them, okay? And then it was moved on from the High Court to the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court didn't want to turn over the findings of the High Court, so they kept the thing, and the case was found for the Irish Times. However, there was a caveat added, and the caveat was that the Supreme Court found Geraldine Kennedy and Colm Keena guilty of reprehensible conduct, it says. Reprehensible conduct. Yeah, so anyway, what happened was the High Court found, the Supreme Court found him guilty of reprehensible conduct. And what they did was the whole costs of the case, which so far amount to €600,000, they dumped them as if it were a fine on the lap of the Irish Times, even though they found in favour of the Irish Times. In other words, the Irish Times didn't have a case to answer. Now, I don't understand that. I don't understand how a Supreme Court or any court can do that, but they did it. And they're the law, they're the highest court in the land, and they just arbitrarily did this. Now, there must be precedent for doing this. But they said it was because Geraldine Kennedy and Colm Keena had destroyed the documents. And they did what I would have done. I would have destroyed the documents too, because obviously the documents pointed to whoever the whistleblower was. So if they handed the court the documents, the court would have been able to tell the man tribunal, the court would have made it public. It's a public court, so they would have made it public who the whistleblower was. So in legal terms, the Irish Times didn't do anything wrong, but what's going to happen is the natural result of this is like a gagging order. This is tantamount to a gagging order. What this means is that anybody else who's a newspaper in this country, whoever gets a leak from any source, no matter what it is, especially if it's a state source and it involves information relating to state officials or government officials or establishment officials, is going to think many, many times before it makes it public. Because the natural ramifications are what happened in this case. The Irish Times won the case, but still had the costs posted against it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I think it's a sad reflection of what's going on in our little country at the moment. And basically the statement is, you came to this court, legally we had to agree with you that the sovereignty lies with the people. We had to find that this was in the interests of the vast majority of the people of this country. But that's all an irrelevancy. You did something we didn't want you to do. We didn't agree with it. So, Jesuit answer, you have to pay the costs. So, we didn't get the whistleblower, but we got you instead. And that's just as effective from our point of view. Boys oh boys, boys oh boys, what a republic. Anyway, listen, we'd love to talk more about these things.